Hey, what's going on everybody? It's Silva, director and founder here at Ryaniumfilms, and today we're going to be talking about the history of Ryaniumfilms. Alright, so everyone knows Ryaniumfilms to be this extraordinary small budget film company run by the name of Matthew Silva, of course. But you know, it wasn't always like that. Alright, so it all began about 2013, 2014 when the idea of Ryanium came into play. It wasn't always Ryaniumfilms, it started off as Ryanium. And it started off as a YouTube gaming channel. That was about the time I found out that I really had some sort of passion for making videos, just in general. And of course, I happened to like playing video games at the time, so I recorded myself playing video games. That channel still exists today, and unfortunately I stopped uploading on that channel, but I still have it there available so that if anybody wants to watch one of those videos, they're there for you to see. But anyway, I started off on Ryanium about 2013, 2014 and began my YouTube gaming career. That lasted about maybe 3 years into 2016. I stopped about maybe a year and a half ago. So yeah, about 4 years. And you know, I just lost the passion for playing video games as much as I did. At the time, I was grinding out 3, 4, sometimes 5 videos a day on YouTube. I would wake up 6 in the morning, record myself playing, edit until probably 1, 2 o'clock in the morning at midnight, and just cycle, repeat, same thing over again every single day. That honestly was a trial and error. I learned that there comes a point when you overwork yourself when it comes to making videos that you just don't enjoy it anymore. And at that time, I just didn't enjoy it anymore. Not really because of the editing or the video part, but just because I just felt like the content was being forced instead of being more, you know, relaxed, enjoyable. I felt like it was forced. I didn't enjoy it anymore. And I just felt like I was wasting time just sitting there making YouTube gaming videos when I could be doing other things with my time. You know, nothing against the YouTube gaming. Nothing against the YouTube gaming community, but that's just how I feel about it. I felt like there was many other things I could have been doing with my time than just sitting there for hours on end playing video games and then having to edit it afterwards and upload it. I gained a pretty decent following though. I gained about 3,270 followers. I might have gone down in numbers because I haven't been active in about a year, but it's still there if you want to check it out. It's called Ryanium, Ryanium. Same thing as this name, Ryaniumfilms, just without the films. So that's how I started off on the YouTube community. I used to always upload videos with my buddy David, which is also known today as Decima Productions, and Danielle, which is also known today as Division 9 Interactions. They weren't always like that though. They used to be called Banana Boy 132, David, and Danielle was called Terminatrix Massive. Those are their video game names, so that's what it was at the time. But yeah, that's how that started. In terms of Ryaniumfilms, let's get into the cool stuff. Alright, so Ryaniumfilms all began around maybe 2015, 2016, I think it's 2016 though, when me and my buddy Danielle recorded a video game video called Intense Battles. So how that all started was me and him we're doing like a little web series called Intense Battles Remastered, Intense Battle 1v1 against me and him on Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, right? And I happened to whoop his behind in that game, and one day, I think it was him, he brought up the idea, hey man, you got this cool new camera that you're never putting to use, why don't we use it someday? And I was like, okay, cool, that sounds like a good idea. So, you know, at the time I was only using that camera, which is the camera I'm using now. It's a Canon RF 500. And I would always use it for the voiceovers, for you know how like in the gaming community they have the video game display and then they have the face cam. If you guys want a tutorial on that, I can teach you how to do that. It's super easy. But they had the face cam, and that's what I would use this camera for originally. But after the Little Intense Battle series and Paranormal Activity Minecraft Edition web series we had going on, I was like, all right, cool, you know what? Maybe we can take up this little film idea that, you know, he brought up. So I decided one day after school, hey, you know what? I brought my camera, I brought my tripod, I had, you know, just a small tripod. It was my first time filming something that was, to me at the time, big. So I had just my small camcorder, my tripod, and that was it. And we brought a couple of Nerf guns and we filmed in my backyard. So how that all went about is after school, me and him met up with a friend of mine. His name was David Rivas. I don't think he does YouTube anymore today, but his name was David Rivas, and we met up with him at the backyard of my apartment, and we filmed our first video called Intense Battles, or Intense 1v1. Yeah, you know what? I think it was Intense 1v1. And we brought kind of the idea of the Call of Duty series to a real film, which was, like I just said, Intense 1v1. And in the film, it shows Ranium versus Terminatrix Massive. I thought it was a pretty neat idea. We thought it was so cool at the time, even though it was like maybe one muzzle flash every here and there, and really crappy dirt effects. The effects are so terrible, but you know, at the time when it was our first big film like that, it was so cool. We were like, man, this is the best thing since freaking bubblegum. It was awesome. I'll leave the link to that in the description box below. As a matter of fact, I'm going to upload a remastered version of that soon. But it was so awesome. We uploaded that and we were like, yo man, this is so cool. It came out really cool. And of course I had to add the explosion at the end where I'm walking down the parking lot and all the cars randomly explode out of nowhere. I was like, man, that is so cool. We got to totally add that. Why not? I like it in the movies. Let's add it in our movie. So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. It's gonna look awesome, and we did it. And so as time went on, I was like, man, this is really cool. I always liked watching like superhero movies and action movies where the guys or the characters do some crazy cool stuff, like the car explosions, the shootout scenes, and I was like, yo, that would be so cool if I see myself on camera doing some of those cool stunts, just doing, you know, the camera work and just acting in a scene that, you know, would be remembered as, you know, just a really good scene. Like after that all went about, me and Danielle decided to bring our buddy David, the Banana Boy 132 guy inside of it, and so we started making that into a web series called Intense 1v1. It went from Intense 1v1 to Intense Battles, and then into Intense Battles episode 3 or something like that, and that was the end of the series. We never continued the series, unfortunately, but it was a really good series. Definitely gonna upload that as a throwback sometime soon, so let's stay tuned for that. But it was really good. That's how we started off. Basically, all I had was a small camcorder, a tripod, and my MacBook. I still have the same MacBook that I had back then. You know, you just gotta start with what you have, and if you enjoy what you're doing, then you never feel like you're working a day in your life. So once I started getting into the film stuff, I started uploading more and more of the film videos that I started doing onto Ranium. Now the thing with that was that because it was a gaming channel originally, I was losing a lot of views. I was losing hundreds. It started getting to a point where I was losing 300 views, 400 views on a video, and I was like, man, I can't be doing this. Clearly people aren't interested. In the beginning when I started Intense Battles, it was like 1,000 views, 700, 800 views all the time. But as it kept going, the films, you know, it was a gaming channel. People were subscribed for the gaming, and eventually just Ranium died down. You know, I lost passion for the gaming. I didn't like it, and I thought that the filmmaking was so much better. I enjoyed doing it. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to make a separate channel because clearly people on Ranium do not like this new film content that's coming out every week, every other day. They want more gaming videos, and I just couldn't keep up with the both of them. So I decided to open up Ryaniumfilms at around 2016, June, I think it was June 4th of 2016. I think it was the 4th of July, or somewhere around that time. And I decided, you know, just re-upload all of the film videos onto Ryaniumfilms and keep it going. Around the time that I opened up Ryaniumfilms, I moved out here to Long Island. I used to live in... Around the times that I opened up Ryaniumfilms, I moved. I used to live in the same neighborhood with all of my buddies, and now I moved out of that neighborhood. So it was a little difficult to start off with. It was definitely difficult to start off because I was filming on my own. But as time went on, you know, things got a little easier, got into the swing of things. You know, every now and then I go out and visit them. For example, we filmed Solstice, and they come out here, they film with me, and we did Discovering the Abyss. And then, you know, just as time went on, things got easier. You know, it just was able to manage everything, and I ended up meeting, you know, this really great girl. Her name is Kirsten. I'm sure many of you guys know who she is at this point, and she has just been my #1 supporter along the way. You know, she's been helping me out. If I needed help with a film idea, she's been there through thick and thin. So things managed to work out. You know, despite the fact that, you know, I had to move from one place to another in a short period of time, things began to look great at the end of it. So, you know, Ryaniumfilms started off with an idea on the gaming community. Because of that lost passion for gaming, it turned into filming. And I was always into the editing aspect. I think more directing than acting is my strong point, but I like acting only because I like to be behind the camera sometimes and have some really cool shots. But most of the time I like being in control of the camera, because if something doesn't come out right, or the way I visualize it, it's so much harder to concentrate on the film when you're doing both things at the same time. Like, let's say for example, I gotta jump off a freaking building with, you know, I'm hanging off a building, I gotta jump off, or I gotta do a roll in the middle of the street for a scene. If I gotta be behind the camera directing everybody to do that roll, and I have to do it myself, it's a pain because, you know, I'm over here rolling around, then I have to walk back, go to the camera, look at it, then go back. It's just too much stuff to do at once. So I always saw myself doing the directing field more than the acting, but if I could do both, that's awesome. But I think I would be fine doing the directing field more than the acting, especially since I know for a fact I want to be around my family, my future wife, which I know is going to be my grown out Kirsten. You know, I would rather be around my family, my wife, and my kids and all that stuff. I feel like the directing field is a little more easier and lenient when it comes to that, because you're in charge of your time, you're in charge of your hours, and you're in charge of your own, you know, production. So in terms of the acting, if I could do both, awesome. I'll bring my family on set every now and then, and take them on set, and so they can see behind the scenes and just, you know, see what it's like to shoot a movie. But directing is more of my thing. I feel like that's my strong point, and that's what I want to do in terms of family time and time to myself and all that stuff. But you know, that's how Ryaniumfilms started. We're going through a lot of stuff now, like going through just trying to figure out different film plans, different stuff. I'm trying to promote the business in a way that, you know, start getting out headshots, promo shots, movie shots, and start eventually doing it for money. Because, I mean, at the same time, I love, you know, you can love what you do, but if you're not making money off of it, then at some point it's, you know, let me keep it real, it goes on the back burner. So me personally, I would like to start making, you know, some profit off of my content. You know, it's not the most important thing because I enjoy doing it, but all that stuff will come into play. The more, you know, the more content put out there, eventually that stuff will come into play. You know, not stressing it, but you know, those are just goals, future goals for Ryaniumfilms. But yeah, that's how Radiant Film started. We're still going strong today, better than ever, you know, just one step at a time. Alright guys, so this was the history of Radiant Films. If you enjoyed this video and if you enjoyed previous content, share this video. Share with friends, family, give us a like, hit the subscribe button. Don't be afraid to smack the crap out of that subscribe button. Come on, smack it, boom. Like it. Like this video as many times as you want. Make like 10 different accounts and like the same video. That's okay with me. Stay updated, stay tuned, like, share for more content, and I will be seeing you all in the next video. Bye guys.